Welcome to the Sports Nerd Podcast, the number one podcast in West Tech. If you don't go to West Tech and you still listen to this, you're a real one. Welcome to the first official Sports Nerd Podcast episode. Sorry if you hear any dog in the background barking. This is kind of like a prototype area for now. The audio isn't great. Obviously, it's my first time actually doing this. But let me just recap what we're going to be doing. Welcome to Sports Nerd Podcast, number one podcast in West Tech. I'll be obviously talking about sports. Some sports I will not be talking about is sports that I'm not really educated on, such as soccer, hockey, etc. The three main sports I will be talking about is baseball, basketball, and football. But apologies, I'm not really that educated on baseball either. But obviously, the baseball is pretty crazy right now. So we're gonna start with that. I'm gonna give a little info on me. I go to West Tech High School in Las Vegas. I'll be saying all my favorite teams for the sports that we talk about, and let's just get right into it. So, I'm not really going to be talking about MLB that much. For one main reason is that I don't know anything about MLB. I just know that the commissioner is doing absolutely nothing. The MLB is not in session. The league is shut down. I don't know why. I'm 90% sure that it's COVID-19. But, yeah, it's stupid because if it is because of COVID, baseball is the most popular sport. So I don't see why you would shut down your league, even when leagues like the NBA and the NFL are doing their league. It's very strange because obviously baseball is not the most popular sport, so there's really no point to do it because you know if you want to have your ratings up, you have to have a league. So honestly, pretty stupid if it's COVID. If it's something else, I don't know what else it could be. But yeah, a little information about me for baseball. My favorite team is the Astros. Not really for any particular reason other than the fact that that was my team in Little League and I like the color orange. I don't really pay attention to MLB. I know that the Astros are cheaters. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from that. But regardless, it's my favorite team. I'm going to stick with them. Yeah. That's all I'm going to talk about MLB because obviously there isn't a league. So yeah. Now let's just get right into NFL. NFL is probably the craziest, even if it's in its off season. A lot of stuff just happened, which really inspired me to make this podcast. So my favorite team is the Denver Broncos, mainly because my family is from Denver, well, from Colorado, near Denver. A lot of stuff, especially for the Broncos. It's going to make it a lot interesting because the Broncos is a huge part of this conversation. The three teams that are in a spotlight right now are the Seahawks, the Broncos, and the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, there was a lot of speculation that the Green Bay Packers were going to trade Aaron Rodgers over to the Broncos. That did not happen. Instead, Aaron Rodgers signed a $200 million deal with the Packers. 4-year deal. Now that is, I believe it is that makes Aaron Rodgers the highest paid NFL athlete in NFL history. I honestly don't know why he would stay in Green Bay. I thought everyone that everyone that works for the Packers despise him. I thought he despised everyone that works for the Packers. I don't know why he would stay. They don't deserve him. We deserve him. But I was very sad when I found that out. Little did I know, an hour later, I'd find out that the Seahawks would trade Russell Wilson to the Broncos. That's huge. That's absolutely humongous. As a Broncos fan, I know that we were just a quarterback away, and now with Russell Wilson, we will be unstoppable. I wouldn't say unstoppable. We'll be elite. We had to trade a couple players away that I know, including Drew Lock. Honestly, I was a fan of Drew Lock. I saw a lot of potential in him, and I wanted him to stay in Denver. I honestly wanted him to be Aaron Rodgers' apprentice or Russell Wilson's apprentice. They could kind of teach him the way of the football. Instead, he's going to be fighting for the starting position with Geno Smith. I think he's going to get the starting position over Geno Smith. I don't know. Maybe not, but I hope so, because he's a kid that I would love to see play. But, yeah. The Green Bay Packers are going to have a lot of trouble with their salary. That's something the Seahawks are not going to have trouble with, as Bobby Wagner is testing free agency this year. That's huge. I don't know where he's going to go, but he could go so many places and just make the NFL a lot more interesting. The Seahawks are in a position now where they're going to have to rebuild their entire team. DK Metcalf is going to be the only really, honestly, really good player. Obviously, Lynch is gone. Russ is gone. Bobby Wagner is going to be gone. Well, he technically is gone, but that's huge, honestly. Now, another thing about the NFL. The Buccaneers are in a very weird position. Obviously, Tom Brady retired. Antonio Brown had his meltdown against the Jets. And Rob Gronkowski is probably going to leave. They're not a playoff contender anymore. That probably not a hot take. They don't have any weapons. I mean, okay, Mike Evans, cool. But really, nobody. Honestly, I don't even know the backup quarterback for the Buccaneers. I thought they might have got someone else, like Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. But no, they're not a playoff contender. Tom Brady and Gronkowski were the only reasons they made the playoffs and won that Super Bowl. That's the only reason. And you take that away from them, they're going to be your regular below-average team again. They saw the spotlight for, 2-3 years? It's gone now. Rob Gronkowski is probably going to go to the Buffalo Bills, I believe it was, because it's his hometown. That's kind of huge. Honestly, he's not going to be as effective as he was. Obviously, he's been a little beat up. But Josh Allen could definitely make him at home. And then Emmanuel Sanders and all those other receivers and tight ends. I feel like he wouldn't really be getting the starting position. He'd be more of a blocker than an actual tight end. Honestly, I would retire if I was Rob Gronkowski, because obviously you got the ads for going for you. But bro, you've had an amazing career. Don't end your career in a stroller. Don't. Don't. Yeah, what else could we talk about? The Bengals obviously lost in the Super Bowl. There's many questions about whether they'll be playoff contenders next year. I believe they will. Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow. That's just to name a small percentage of the great players they have on their team. T. Higgins, honestly, great. They're going to be playoff contenders. That's really not a doubt in my mind. My doubt is whether Eli Apple will still be on that team. Eli Apple was one of the main factors on why they lost that football game in the Super Bowl. Eli Apple was selling hard, and I don't know whether he's going to be on the team for much longer, because they're really just so close to becoming a great team, and Eli Apple just took it away from them. So I would get rid of Eli Apple if I were the Bengals. Now, I'm trying to think if there's any other teams that I talk about. It's really really pressing matter for the NFL. I don't think. Oh yeah, one small thing before we move on to the NBA. Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is going, well, it's not official, but he could be going to the Commanders. That's a good move. I don't know who they're going to trade for that, but that's a good move. I would trade Young. No, because that's like no. Yeah, wait, yeah. Young for Carson Wentz is not a good trade. Never mind, scratch that. Just don't listen to me. But I feel like Carson Wentz will 100% get in the starting position over Taylor Heinicke. Taylor Heinicke is not that guy. He hasn't been that guy for a while. And Carson Wentz is a good player, but he's not really a start. He does not have a starting position in any scenarios other than the Seahawks or the Commanders. Or maybe even the Giants or the Jets. But yeah, honestly, he's a great player. He was a great player when he was in the Eagles. Now he's on the Colts. He did a semi good job on the Colts. So it's just a matter of does he have a good team or not? Like, the Colts were a really underrated team. I thought they were going to make the playoffs. I'm surprised the Raiders made the playoffs over them. But, yeah. Moving on to NBA. About basketball and NBA. Pretty easy. My team is the Charlotte Hornets. And the Charlotte Hornets have been, I wouldn't say the biggest news, but there's still some news. I'm going to talk about them. 76ers, that's huge. We're going to talk about the Lakers. We're going to talk about all the teams that really matter as of right now. So, start with my favorite team, the Hornets. Hornets, LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges. We were garbage in February. Actual garbage. What was our win percentage? Can anybody pull that up? Like, actually, that was terrible. I think we won 3 games in February. Start of March, we're 2-3. That's already better. We lost to the Nets, and Kyrie and KD, like, what are you supposed to do? Okay, even without Harden, we'll get to that later. But even without Harden, they're still crazy duo. I think they're better without Harden, honestly. And Seth Curry's actually cracked. He's way better than he was in the 76ers. Maybe it's because he changed his jersey to 30, but I don't know. But that's besides the point. We recently signed Isaiah Thomas to a 10-day contract. I don't know when that runs out. I think it ran out yesterday, actually. As of filming this, that would be March 8th. So, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'd like for him to stay, but they haven't been including him enough to make me believe that he could be useful and effective. He was playing for one game against the Cavs, and he had those threes and that 1-3 over Jared Allen, and I thought this was the right place for him. But I mean, he's been on 3 teams this season on 10-day contracts with the Mavs and the Lakers. If you haven't seen that short, check it out. Yeah, honestly, it's just, I don't know. And then the Montrez has been efficient for scoring, for stats, really, and for morale. This guy will boost morale like nothing. This guy's dunks is insane. Yeah, and it's honestly, we kind of have to play the plan. Like, there's no way. I think we're ninth seed, right behind the Nets, actually. So as long as we can just focus at the task at hand, we could make the plan at the very least. Then there's the 76ers. 76ers, huge news. The 76ers and the Nets, basically. Obviously, the James Harden trade is crazy. He and Embiid were cracked the first however games they played. Then then James Harden had a hamstring injury, and that died fairly quickly. But they were still an elite duo. And I feel like that happens every single time that James Harden trades to a different team. He will be absolutely elite the first month or two that he's on that team. Then he'll cry about them not winning a championship in 1 year and leave. The Nets, basically. Like, how do you have Blake Griffin, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden loses twice and then cries and leaves to the 76ers, who actually have a chance at the finals, honestly. But, like, that's what I thought about the Nets. So, I don't know. James Harden was a great player, but he's definitely fell off. I feel like the only things that teams that sign him can guarantee is a good month or two from him, and that's it. They traded over Seth Curry. Now he wears his dad's and Steph's number 30. He's wearing number 31. Danny Green stayed. And now Danny Green and James Harden have a rivalry. I don't know if you saw that, but Danny Green's not like James Harden. He won't pass it to him. Honestly, stupid. If you can't have good chemistry with your top 3 players on your team, then you need to get out of there. Like, go somewhere else. Go back to the Lakers if you want. But yeah. Then going over to the Nets, they traded over Ben Simmons, which I thought was going to be huge, but he's got some like mental stuff going on. He needs to see a therapist, something like that. I don't know what's happening with Ben Simmons. I thought he would be a nice fit. I guess not. Seth Curry has been playing amazing. Just playing out amazing on the Nets. Way better than I expected him to. KD's even impressed. If you've seen his reaction to how well Seth Curry's been playing, it's pretty remarkable. Does that mean I think he's going to save the team? No. But he's definitely top 5 players in the team now. Maybe 5. He's like 5. But yeah. Obviously, I thought Ben Simmons would love to play against his team, but it just doesn't seem like that he's going to be on the court at all this year. Or at least this regular season. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Lakers. LeBron, love him or hate him, you got to agree with me on this. LeBron, for being 37 years old, is elite. How do you score 56 points at the age of 37 and not be considered elite. LeBron James scored 56 points on the Warriors, if you did not hear. That's absolutely remarkable, especially against a team like the Warriors. It's too bad his team isn't planning out like he thought it would. Honestly, with all the people that he signed, those are the people that aren't playing as well, and the other people are the people that's playing well. Don't believe me? Who's playing better, Malik Monk or Russell Westbrook? That's all I got to say. Honestly, Carmelo Anthony is a good fit on the Lakers. Dwight Howard's not. Get your slow butt out of LA. Yeah, I know they call LA the retirement home, but you got to go on somewhere else, man. Retire, honestly. Like, we love you, Dwight Howard, and you're still, like, a good player, but same with Rob Gronkowski, bro. I don't want to see you exiting your last game on a stroller. Because that might happen. Then, what else? Russell Westbrook has just been terrible. Absolutely garbage. Oh my goodness gracious. I like, my friend Tristan said this to me. I like how, back in the day in his OKC days, right? He scoring 20 points would be a bad game for him. But now, it's an amazing game for him. And I completely agree with that statement. OKC Russell Westbrook was a different breed. Lakers Russell Westbrook is a terrible breed, and I hate it. Please. Just stop playing like that. I don't know if it's something going on with him, but please, Russell Westbrook, you gotta stop getting shooting advice from Spice Adams and go get an actual trainer. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know who you're training with. I don't even know. You're probably not training with anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if you're training with Spice Adams. Because, they let you shoot. It's like the one kid you pick up at the park, and he can't shoot for anything. It's sad. Yeah, I don't know. Just get him out. I like how he was ruled injured during the trade deadline, so he couldn't get traded. Because we all know he would have went to the Rockets or something like that. Back to where you came from. Yeah. The final team that I'm going to talk about before I leave. This podcast is very scuffed, I can tell. I'm gonna have some in the future. I'm gonna have segments that'll be fun. I'm gonna call some of my friends to ask questions, make it a little more fun and entertaining to listen to. I know 99% of you have already clicked off the video. If you're still here, then I absolutely love you. But yeah. How about this? If you're still here, put in the comments, put the angel emoji, and next to it, the video you want me to make, or the thing you want me to talk about in the next podcast, or if you want me to include you in the next podcast, because I'll do that. If you're still listening to this or watching this, you're a real one. Okay. Final thing I'm gonna talk about before I leave is the Grizzlies. Raise your hand if you expected the Grizzlies to be good this year. One of you? Okay. I did not. I didn't know Ja Morant was built like that. Steven Adams has been outperforming what people thought he was going to be performing. He's been way better than people thought he would be. Desmond Bane has been an elite, I wouldn't say elite, but a great shooter. And And then obviously John Moran is just crazy. I mean, have you seen the plays this year? Oh my goodness. You could make a 3-hour highlight reel of John Morant jumping 50 feet in the air. It's crazy. The thing is, he has so much potential, but he's only going to get older and weaker. And I don't even think it's going to be in like 10 years. I think it's going to be in the next 2 years that he's going to get one of those crazy blocks or one of those crazy dunks, and he's going to land on his foot or the ankle the wrong way and ruin his career. Derrick Rose style. Anthony Davis recent injury style. You know, he's just not going to be the same after that. So I want him to be so careful because he's such an amazing player. But I don't want him to, you know, I don't want him to get injured. I don't. It's going to suck to see him like that, if that ever happens. I hope it doesn't, though. They're the 3rd seed in the Western Conference as of right now, I think. That's amazing. It was spectacular. I did not expect him to be on that level. His team to be on the level right now. But players like Jaren Jackson Jr. have really been filling up the spots that the Grizzlies needed. And they've been... Their chemistry is astounding. That's what I think it is. Like they got great players, but it's also just their chemistry. Their chemistry is amazing. Out the roof with their chemistry. So yeah, that's been the Sports Nerd Podcast. Hope you enjoyed. If you came this far, just tell me in the comments. Do I make it shorter? Do I make it longer? What do I add to make it more entertaining? Because I want to branch out farther than just shorts. I want to do videos that are more than just 1 minute. I am doing a 2K My League. If you like to see gaming videos, I'll show you those. It's very fun, My League as well. It's not just like your regular My League. So if you want to see that, please comment, do whatever you want, because I'm out. You've been listening to the Sports Center Podcast, #1 podcast in West Tech.